product reviews. I know the title's probably reversed, but I'll tell you the title in a second. I'm reviewing some written material, and then we're talking some marketing secrets, all in the broadcast today. Marlon Sanders here, broadcasting live from Old Town Helotes here in San Antonio, Texas. You can see the ambiance around here. I'm at this little outdoor thing. We've got mountains in the background. And over here is the Helotes Country Club. So yeah, Old Town Helotes. And this is where I'm doing my live stream from. Give me a shout out. Let me know what city and country you're watching from. Got great stuff to talk to you about. Number one is this book. It's called 500 LinkedIn Content Ideas by Daniel Disney. I realize it's probably reversed. Hey, Arian, how you doing? Yeah, it's real lovely. Now, it's fairly early in the morning. I think it's 89 degrees. It'll be too hot to be out here a little bit later, Arian. It still blows my mind that people can join me from the other side of the world. So I think you said you were from India. So welcome. So this book is called 500 LinkedIn Content Ideas. The author is Daniel Disney. It's available on Amazon. I'm going to see if I can reverse. I always struggle with this. To reverse the view so it's not messed up when you're looking at it. Yeah. All right. I'll try to remember to do that in advance the next time. So here's the deal. Daniel Disney wrote 2 books. One book is about how do you market on LinkedIn. It's the better of the 2 books in that it's all the how-to, right? This book, though, is cool because let's say I want a hook. I just open it up, and this is basically a book just filled with hooks. So, like, if I open it up and I just randomly point, this one says, give a number of ideas or tips that could help your prospects this month. For example, here are 21 ideas that can help VPs of sales get their teams to start building more pipeline in 2024. So it's a whole book of just hooks. So if you need to do a live stream, you can just open it up and point. Boom. Now I had a hook idea for today, and then I just thought, I got a lot of views the other day when I just did the default thing, Marlon Sanders, sell more products or whatever. So this is a really useful book. The other book is about the theory of how you message people on LinkedIn. This is just about posting ideas. And you can use this on Facebook, X, anywhere. They're just hooks. It's a whole freaking book of hooks, which Arian is really useful. Hey, the love Addie. Hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing today, man? We just talked about 500 LinkedIn Content Ideas by Daniel Disney. It's a book filled with hooks. It's on Amazon. It's a great book. And if you want to know how to market on Amazon, his other book's about how do you message people on Amazon to get leads and so forth. The second thing we have to review today is right here. This one, I printed it out. It's by Travis Sago, and it was called Big Daddy's Continuity Conversion Funnel. And so he has on Substack. He'll post stuff like this on Substack. It's Travis Sago. So just go to Substack, search Travis Sago, and you'll probably see him talk about Big Daddy, conversion funnel, and continuity and stuff. Now, he has the upsell. The upsells, I think, I don't remember the dollar amount. It's maybe whatever the upsell is, it's this whole course by him. It's on Substack. And it includes his whole entire blue collar continuity series, which is insanely great. Nobody ever talks about it. And it's probably the best thing you'll ever read on continuity. I mean, there's not a lot of good things written about how to make money with continuity, to be honest. I mean, there's books written about it and stuff, but they're all so freaking basic that they're very much not useful. This is the stuff that I personally study and use when I want ideas to be inspired to build up my continuity, right? Now, I'll say this, like you'll never hear another marketing guru probably even mention this, or teacher of the craft. A guru is just a teacher. That's all they are. People say it like it's some derogatory term. A guru is a teacher, and a teacher of the craft, meaning the marketing craft, right? Nobody else really talks about other people because they're scared you're going to go study them and not buy from them. I do. I mention books and stuff all the time because I love marketing. I own, I think, 4,000 books. I don't know, we counted them one time. I can't remember the total amount. But I love marketing and I love reading this stuff. And the advantage to you is I'm a nonstop source of ideas. Like I doubt you will hear anyone that brings more new ideas to the table, talks about more books and more ideas and things and resources than I do. Now, this is my lifeblood here. This is a legal tablet. Now, these things will make you a lot of money. I want to point out a couple things. Number one, it is called Docket Gold. You do not have to buy Docket Gold, but the reason I like it is because this has about double or triple the number of sheets of your normal legal pad. Number two, it is 3-hole punch so that you can put it in notebooks. And then number three, it is college ruled. The lines are college ruled, which means they're thin lines so you can get more on the page. I hate the ones that are thick lines. This is what I write sales letters on. This is what I take all my notes on. Now, my best notes I put into hard bound record books that cost about 40 or 50 bucks each. Again, thin lined, but the pages are numbered, so you're able to put a table of contents that refer to specific pages. But when I'm just taking brainstorming and doing regular notes, I just put them here on the legal pad. And this is where I write most of my sales letters. Like if we go through here, I'm just looking. You can see all the notes that I take in there. I take lots and lots and lots of notes about my ideas and when I'm planning out things and so forth. So here is text that I wrote for a sales letter, right? This was me writing a sales letter here. So I will write my sales letters here and then transfer it over, to the computer. Hey, Vlogs, I'm in English here, dog. Whatever language you write in, it's all good. There's people that buy in every language of the world because they all got problems that need solved. And if you come along and you got a solution to their problem, depending on how painful the problem is, they'll pay you money for it. If it's a problem like getting rid of the gophers in your yard, I'll tell you a funny story. I got started in this business by a guy named Jerry Buchanan. Jerry Buchanan wrote a book. I have it at home. I've showed it on video before, called The Writer's Utopia Formula Report. He wrote that sucker back in about 1960 or so. The info product business existed way before that. W.D. Gann was selling $5,000 seminars back in the 1920s about his trading system. But as far as teaching people to get into the business, probably one of the very first people was Jerry Buchanan. Jerry wrote this newsletter, and he wrote this book that he would sell in order to generate leads for his newsletter called Writer's Utopia Formula Report. When he told us how he made $12,000, this was way back, that's quite a bit of money by today's money, $50,000 or something, selling this little report on how to get gophers out of your yard. Now, he didn't have YouTube back then. And so he wrote this little report and he ran classified ads for it, and he sold it, I think, back in the day for $3. You could just send in $3 in the classified ad, but he ran it in all these magazines. And he made at the time, it was $12,000 selling it. Well, when I read that was kind of like my start in the info business. And the point is, you could get $3 back then for a report on how to get rid of gophers out of your yard. Today, that'd be $20 or something, right? I mean, it's a small problem. You got gophers in your yard and you need to get rid of them, right? The story behind that was he talked to this guy who was a groundskeeper at a golf course, and the guy told him how they keep gophers out of the golf course. And he's like, okay, this is great. People need to know this. It's a solution to a problem, but it's a very small problem. The bigger the problem and the more painful the problem, the more you can sell the solution for. So if you're not making the money you want to make, quite honestly, you're solving problems that are too small and quite possibly problems that are not unique. Like if they can go out and they can get this solution off of YouTube, they can get the solution off of wherever, probably not going to make a lot of money. So if you're not making the money you want to make, you got to solve bigger problems that are more painful. And then you can charge more for the solution. Now you say, but Marlon, where am I going to get the solutions? Well, it's where this up here comes into play. Maybe AI can help you figure it out today. I don't know, right? Maybe AI can help you figure it out. But the bottom line is, if you figure out solutions to painful, I mean, like if AI had a really good solution, probably they wouldn't be in pain. They just go to Chat GP, type it in, they'd have their solution, they'd be done with it. Typically, problems are more complex. Typically, problems that are more painful have multiple strands or elements to the problem. So the way that you solve the problem is you take this problem that's a mixture of subproblems, and that's why it's a problem. So pretend this is the problem. You separate out the problem into the 5 or the 10 subproblems. You solve each of the subproblems, and you solve this big, hairy, complex problem. Now, maybe you just got a 5-string problem here. This is the problem. You open the problem up, and it's got 5 sub-problems or sub-elements to it. You solve each of those sub-elements, and you solve the main problem, right? This is how we solve problems. But so most people, they only think about the problem, this problem. They only think about the problem, this big, hairy, complex problem. They don't break it apart into sub-problems and analyze it and solve the sub-problems. That's just how we are. I do that. We all do that, right? Yeah, Arian, the Writer's Utopia formula report back then, and the solution, then what he did was he found other people making money selling information products, and then he wrote the book on it. It's a little small book, and he sold it at the time for $20, I think. It's a little yellow book. I got it at home. Writer's Utopia Formula Report by Jerry Buchanan. That was, some people feel it was the first product that told you how to make money in the information business. People were doing the information business pre-1900. Like there was a guy named Lafayette, I believe his name was Lafayette, selling a memory course by doing preview seminars pre-1900. I have the book. You can download it free off the internet. It was incredible. It was a great, great, great memory course, right? And lots of people were in the information product business. There were lots of products that told you how to sell by mail order. Direct mail order. So, but there's virtually nothing that this is how you sell information by mail, right? So nobody really knew this stuff. Like overweight problem, the subproblems may be the prediabetes and so forth. That's correct. I'm going to give you a really stupid, dumb example of it. But, I mean, it was a very painful problem. I hired a maid to come in to clean my house. This is before I was married. Maid comes in. My shower needed cleaning. So I'm like, clean the shower. She's like, well, I don't know how to clean the shower. And I'm like, well, can you call your boss? So she calls her boss. Her boss is like, use this on it and use it. So the maid combined 2 chemicals that should not be combined. It created a toxic smell, a bad smell throughout my whole house. And so this is a major problem because it wouldn't go away. Like I tried airing the house out. And so I broke this problem down into sub issues, like how to get the smell out of the cloth on the carpet and the upholstery, how to wash the walls and get the smell off the walls and so forth. I broke it down into sub problems and I did pretty good. I aired out the house for 30 days, but then eventually I solved it. I actually had to hire a company. I spent $1,000 to hire this company that had an ozone treatment, and ozone gets rid of smells. Although it has a smell it took like 10 days to get rid of the ozone smell. The ozone smell is not pleasant, but it was better than having this bad smell in my house. And so anyway, they did this ozone treatment. After about 10 days, it was all gone, right? It was all solved. But to deal with it, I initially broke the problem down into as many sub-problems as I could, and I attacked the little sub-problems. I mean, I know it's a stupid, dumb example. I should have just hired the ozone treatment right off the bat. I didn't know ozone treatment existed. That was the thing. I didn't know it existed. I mean, any problem you have, let's say, oh, God, I'm not getting any traffic to my website, right? Well, you can break that down into sub-problems. Sub-problems of getting traffic is like, I have affiliates, but they're not referring, or I can't get affiliates, or Google's not spidered any of my pages, which is a very different problem from they spidered my pages, but my pages aren't ranking. which is a very different problem from they're spidering my pages are ranking, but I ain't getting any leads from it. See, these are all sub-problems. And so when you break it down into sub-problems, it helps you analyze it and solve it. Once you solve it, you can sell that solution to other people because there are a lot of there's other people that have that problem, right? Now, usually, there's probably not a lot of people that had a maid clean their shower and combine two noxious chemicals. Most people don't have that problem. But I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine almost died because of this similar thing. He was cleaning the bathroom and combined two noxious chemicals, and it put him into a coma for 3 days in the hospital, and he almost died. He felt he died and came back to life, to be honest. That's what he told me. However, it'd be hard to sell a solution to that problem, right? So the problem has to be something experienced by enough people that you can make a profit selling the solution, right? If you have a problem to solve, but your total universe is 10 people that have hired a maid that jacked your house up with a smell, you only got 5 possible people. You close 10% and maybe you make 1 sale, right? It's not a very lucrative thing unless you're charging $20,000 for the solution, which doesn't really work because the solution is go pay $1,000 to have somebody do an ozone treatment on your home, right? So, one of the problems today is getting reach for your content. Now, I'll be honest. There aren't any good products about getting reach. Like you put your content, everybody's like telling, oh, here's how to take one piece of content and spin it into 100 and submit it. Well, that's just, you know what? It doesn't work very good because I'll tell you what, I can take this video right now. I can chop the heck out of it. I can submit it as shorts. I submit all the freaking universe. It's going to get a little traffic. It ain't going to get a lot of traffic. You know why? Because nobody gives it any reach. It's not being able, all you need is one piece of content that gets a lot of reach. It ain't about mass submitting content. Although, I mean, I do that with a program that will broadcast my live stream to different channels. I'm not using it now, but that's not the problem. Is not mass submission. That's what everybody defined as the problem. The problem is you're not submitting your content to enough channels. If you just get your content out on all these channels, you're going to be raking in the big bucks. Everybody's going to be opting into your list. Money's going to be flowing like a freaking river, and you're going to be made in the shade. Hey, Sagittarius, how are you, man? We're talking marketing here. And so that's the problem is not, you see, a lot of people solve the wrong problem. Part of, when you sell people a solution to a problem, part of what you're selling is identifying what the freaking problem is. Because if you identify the wrong cause to the problem, you're solving for a cause that's not the cause of the problem. You're solving for the wrong thing. So everybody still sell these products. How to submit take your content, cut it up, and submit it all over the heck. That's not the solution. What's the sound of one hand clapping? Say you put out 1,000 pieces of content and it gets no reach. You didn't do yourself much favor, right? The hard thing, the problem today is getting reach with your content. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that problem, right? So, I mean, now, it's a hard freaking problem. So this is not an easy problem to solve. Like, what actually will get you reach? Being able to isolate and define those variables. But, see, it's one thing to know what the variables are. Oh, well, you have to have people interact with your content. You have to have them like content and share. You have to have people watch your content a long time, spend a lot of time on your content. This is all what? Okay. So, like I taught I have a thing, push button views, about getting views on YouTube. And one of the steps is you have to have people watch the first minute of your freaking video. That's the most important part of the video, is the first minute. Well, it's one thing to tell, well, you got to have people watch the first minute. It's quite another deal to try to get 70% of the people to having problems with my internet for some reason. You know what I've kind of noticed is it doesn't like it when I go too long for some reason. It's kind of strange. All right. So anyway, there's 5 things I isolated. 5 things that will help get people to watch the first minute of your video, right? So you got to not only tell people what to do, you're the one that's got to figure out how to do it. So this appreciate you being interested, Arian. Well, then the idea is you need to create content that interests other people. And the way you do that is by solving problems, breaking down the problems, and then finding the cause and the solution, right? So basically, you're getting paid to be a problem solver and to solve problems for other people that, they don't have time or the desire to solve for themselves. Because it's not like this problem of reach. This is not an easy freaking problem to solve. If it was, everybody would get incredible reach. Nobody's getting reach. Like, the only people getting reach are some really big, most people, for the most part, are really big people, and a few people that are unicorns. So, like, this girl, the lady named Rachel Peterson, she's on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. She wrote a book called Unfiltered. Rachel is a master at getting distribution of her content without a team. Well, she has a team, but they don't really, I don't think they're not the cause of her getting reach on her content. She comes up with the most incredible hooks nonstop. That's why I'm showing you this book. What's the solution to reach the hooks? This is a whole book of hooks. You have problems with your reach? Right here. Now, you don't want to tell this to clients, customers, probably, at least not until they pay you, because otherwise they'll just go buy the book and they won't spend a dime with you, right? But the biggest solution to reach is you got to hook people right off the bat. That's like number one. And then I think number two is probably being able to tell a story that engages people. Number three, which I did not do today and I should, is using facts and statistics right up front. If you watch Neil Patel's videos on YouTube, within the first 30 seconds, he always presents a fact or a statistic. Neil knows by split testing that if he gives a fact or a statistic in the first 30 seconds of a video, he will increase his viewership. Right? Well, it's a good book. It's a good book for copy. It just tells you hooks. Like, watch this. Check this out. I'm gonna open her. Oh no, I'll tell you how. There's 307 pages in the book. Pick a page between 1 and 307 and type it in chat. And I'll show you how this deal works. Pick a page. Any page between 1 and 307. We'll see what we come up with here. I don't see a page. All right, then I'll just do it. I'm going to randomly pick a page 64. Page 64. All right, let's go to page 64. All right. Oh, page 107. I just see it, though. Page 107. All right, let me go to page 107. Page 107. We got a bunch of hooks here on page 107. I'm just going to randomly point. A quote post series like Motivational Mondays. Try to create consistency with the format, style, colors, and fonts, right? That's idea number 138. Idea number 141 is a motivational street art quote or graffiti. Idea 142. A statistic quote from years ago that is now outdated, but share the current status and how things have changed. For example, cold calling used to work X% of the time, but that's dropped significantly now to Y%. These are all just hooks. These are all just things that interest people. Now, I'm going to give you an example of this that's real practical. Over on my Facebook, I put a picture of a Cybertruck that was parked at Walmart, the only one that I've seen here in Helotes, Texas. Took a picture of it, posted it on Facebook, and I said, when I do post with Cybertrucks, it got 90, I posted a Cybertruck, got 93 comments. This is why gurus use pictures of vehicles in their ads. If you want it, you all need to be putting pictures of your car in your ads. Drop a picture of your car when you were midlife crisis age 40. And everybody, tons and tons of people now drop the picture of the car. What's the hook? The hook is, I happen to know Cybertrucks, Elon Musk Cybertruck thing. Everybody loves talking about it. Half the people hate it. Some people like it. So you post that and it'll get a lot of conversation, right? So I did that and kind of deliberately stoked the flame. Now, that doesn't help me any in marketing, but what it does is get a lot of people engaged. So now when I come back with a marketing post, those people will probably get notified of my marketing post, right? That's an example of using a hook. Now, ideally, your hook relates directly to your business content. I could have written a post about the Cybertruck and related it somehow to business and then had a call to action at the end. Probably would have done real well. All right. Listen, guys and gals, thank you for joining me today. Appreciate you, Arian Sagittarius, Vlogs, They Love, all of you. We'll go ahead and wrap this up today. I don't want to go on too long. Appreciate all of you. Have a great day. I'll see you on another live stream.